All right, live right now. Just kind of looking at everything, make sure everything's working good. And wait for folks to get in here. Take a little bit for chats to come in here. But we're going to talk about the the Super Cocker 99 here. I'm going to go over that here in a second. Kind of disassembly. But let's give a few minutes. Let some folks sneak in here. Make sure my audio is working. Looks like everything's working there. Let's look how my analytics are. Stream health. Excellent. All right. Oops, I don't know what I did there. Live. Yeah. Let me push play here. All right. Hey, Bearderworks. Hey, Doc. How's it? Or hey, Doc. It's Bearderworks. Just popped in. Jake from Bearderworks. So who else sneaks in here? I'm gonna go through a 99. This 99 Super Cocker. I just got this off eBay. It came in the mail today, and this is like really old school stuff. Let's see, Hilmar. Hey, Paul, how's it going? It's an old school Super Cocker 99 that I got off eBay. It was from a, I think it was a pawn shop back in the Midwest, something like that. They packaged it halfway decent. The beaver tail did get a little bent, but it's didn't crack into the Yano, so looks really good. Let's flip this around. The back side here. Whoops. I mean, it's an old school one. It's got the old clippered ram, which is probably no good. I've actually tried to gas it up, and the Palmer LPR is overpressurizing, so I'm sure the seat's better than that. The three-ways, one of these old war game style three-ways, but it's, the nickel or chrome. I guess it's probably chrome. And it's got the little seat clip in there. Let's see if I can take that apart. You can tell the oil's been there for a while, so it's a little stiff. We're going to go through kind of tearing it down. So I'm going to take you guys along the journey of that. Kind of one thing I hate these things. I'm thinking about, I had a whole bunch of ideas what I want to do with this. Oof, that's dirty. Yeah, there's a little bit of dirt down there. Let's take the barrel off. It has I think a 14-inch die boom stick that came with it, which is, I actually really like these barrels, if I could ever find paint to fit them. Let's see what the size is. Zero this thing. And it's a 688. 688, I think that's 14, maybe 12. I don't have my tape measure here, but kind of cool. I'll go with a stack of die barrels that I have. I remember back in the day when these things were, God, what were the price of these? They weren't cheap. They were expensive. And it's like, and you went down there and you're hoping you're getting the right length, and no one ever looked at what bore size. At least I know I didn't. All right, and there's lots of goobers and I don't know, like dirt on this thing. But it doesn't look really worn. This looks dirty. Let me get a rag real quick. Ooh, I have one right here. I'll get a rag. I'll be right back. And paper towel and a sponge. Grab this stuff. Coming back. You guys know I live in California, and it's been blazing hot here. And it's finally cooled down. So, hey Charles. You guys know Charles Bird. He's my Canadian friend. Great dude. If you guys ever meet him, just a super dude. Just gonna wipe off some of that goober on that man, this thing, quite frankly, I'm going to try to bring this up into the camera. It's not, I mean, this thing is, I think it wasn't used that much. This is like a new item. So anyway, hey, before I get too far in that, let me show you guys, this is the other tech mats that I just got these in, available at docfirepaintball.com. You see the link there at the bottom. And these are kind of these rubber ones. I think they're 14 by 20 something. I don't know. But they're nice. And this one is the Shock Tech. It has the Fire Series SFL. And then it has like the diagram instruction sheets for the Gunfighter 1.5 frame on it, which is kind of cool. I got that stuff from Danny. And I had this available on the Docfire Paintball site as I bang around on this. But it is pretty cool. But yeah, so let's start tearing into this thing. Myself some tools here. Oop, nope, wrong one. I've been tearing guns apart today for customers' guns, and then this just came in the mail, and I figured, you know, what the hell? I put away the customers' guns for a little bit and take care of a little bit of me time. And I got, it's got a quick disconnect. Man, that's old school there. I like that. Nice little duck bill. Oh, and while I'm sitting here enjoying tearing apart this fine super cocker, I'm going to eat some of my Albanese, I guess that's how you pronounce that, fat-free, gluten-free, low-sodium gummy bears made in the USA. With every order over, I think, $20 on Docfire Paintball, it automatically adds one of these to your cart for free. And it's just for this. It's for when, you know, you're working, you get parts from Docfire Paintball, you know, you're putting them on your stuff and you need a little sugar hit. A little bit of pick-me-up. A little diabetic coma. So you get those with all orders. But anyway, let's do this. Oh, by the way, as I eat these things and talk at the same time, I'm not doing too many more Facebook Live videos. I'd rather put my efforts towards YouTube channel. Not really thrilled with Facebook, but just FYI, I'm just not doing many Facebook videos. So let's take this rag off. It's got a Vigilante, Air America Vigilante, and bring that up in here. And you guys see the condition. Like usually, you know when something's really worn and used a lot is this bottom cap is just really beat up, and this one isn't. The anodizing, the cap's still there, which is surprising. Anodizing's not chewed up. It's more or less, looks like just wear from maybe sitting on a shelf at a pawn shop. I'm not going to adjust that. I haven't tested this, but it's going to be interesting. I'm probably sure the urethane O-rings are probably all gummed up in here, but there is a urethane one right here, and it's a little waxy, but not bad. It's a cast urethane right on this one, so it's a good urethane. They use cast in these, so like Air America, Airgun Designs did on a lot of their urethane ones. Right, Jake? Jake's here. Jake's, you guys all at work? Or are you guys home? I don't know. I'm in California time, so you know, people are probably still at work. I kind of want to just wipe a little bit of water on this and just take some of the dust off and clean up some of this. This is how I work on guns, is I just wipe them with a little water and clean the dust off and then send it back to the customer. No, I don't do that. But look at that. I mean, it's in really, really good shape. Let me wipe a little bit of water on this and clean off some of this goobers. There we go. Yeah, it seems like it's almost virtually new. Even the milled out areas, the anodizing's not, sometimes, you know, sometimes like it's a corroded look because it's raw anodizing. I mean, and I don't know if I can get it to focus down in there or not. I don't know if it's going to focus or not. But it's really clean down the inside. So anyway, quite shocked on how neat and tidy this is. The chrome is just starting to get a little pitting on the bottom of here. So Paul says he works overnight. Huh. Well, perfect. Then you're a daylight sleeper. Paul, what do? You either if you work at nighttime. I always find that guys that work night times are corrections, usually, but not all the time. At least here they are. But not anymore because they release everyone in jail in California, so they're out roaming the street, which is really super not awesome. But anyway, we're afraid they're going to get COVID. Yeah, whatever. All right, so wow, man, this thing is. It's interesting. It even has the little washer there. So this is, I'm assuming this gun was Caesarized. Means that Caesar either built this or one of his minions built it. But it even has that little lock. That's interesting because it didn't damage the anodizing. Huh. Let's take the... I'm going to leave that on right now. I say let's tear the frame apart. What do you guys think? The frame next? No problem there, Charles. Actually, I personally know Jake from Bearded Works, super outstanding individual, and I personally know Charles from Canada, another outstanding person. I've already said that. Paul, I don't know. Maybe I've met you, Paul. I don't know, but you're here, so you got to be a cool dude. So, let's see. Link this video to other folks. We get some more folks in here if you guys want. All right, what am I doing? Oh, I'm so easily distracted. Literally, gotta find my Allens. Just look at it there. Yeah. There we go. It's got a chrome trigger shoe. And it's one of those that's got the little cut edges on it. Put that in the part spin. Wipe off some of this dirt here. Let's talk a little bit about the feel of this trigger. Supercockers were supposed to be known for their trigger jobs, I think, and stuff like that. Now, granted, this is something that's old. The O-rings, I have no idea what the condition they are in here. The lube in here it's got to be getting pretty old. So it's hard to say what the condition of any of that stuff is. So it's hard to really get any type of a review to say, yeah, it is a phenomenal. It's got very, I would say, heavy springs and much heavier than a current gunfighter. Not saying the gunfighter's heavy, but it's like my finger would be tired on this. So interesting. It's still a slotted, got a slotted thing on it, but it doesn't feel bad. Looks like it's running a ShockTech 3-way actuating rod. It's like a ShockTech variant. So let's go and take off. Oh, I need my Phillips. I need Phillips. It's got Hogue wraparound grips, which I like, and I do sell on Docfire paintball. Actually, I'm out of these right now. They do sell pretty quick. I do have the palm swells, which I like even better. And but yeah, let's see. Thanks. Let's see. What's Paul say? Thanks. I haven't met you, but I plan on going to more events. So looking chance to meet you and a lot of other people in the community. Yeah, awesome. Well, I'd love to meet you. If you ever go to Super Game Oregon, I'm usually there in the Killshot Customs booth. And there with Dan from Killshot Customs. This year we had a really neat group in there. We had myself, Mark Davis from Mark Davis paintball, the Mark V autococker, and then Mark Davis hand engraving, which you guys have probably all seen some of that stuff. And he had, so yeah, Mark Davis, I'm losing track. And then Jason Antle from Angry Antle autocockers. And we had Ryan Jamieson from RJ Paintball. And he does kind of some of those, what do I call them? He takes an older style and kind of comes, like he did a round body AK, his last one, but he did it his style. And so they're kind of remakes of that. Very, very cool stuff. We had Dylan Mazalis from Cocker Top was there. And Dan from Killshot Customs, who does the Kraken. It's actually his booth. Myself, Dan, and Shane Burns, who is Washington Rain from Washington State. It's been our booth for years, and then Dan's kind of taken it over for the Killshot Custom brand. And this year we decided to invite all these people that are, movers and shakers. There's a lot more mover shakers out there, but ones that we could get there, and it was a lot of fun. Yes, Charles, I agree. The frame is the soul of the cocker. Yeah, it's what your finger feels, where all your receptive pickup nerves and touch, feel, sensey thingies. So let's go. Whoa, okay. I need to get my 1/8 inch wrench. Of course, I was tearing through stuff here today, so I don't want to strip the head of that. That would really stink. Ooh, that is definitely feels like it may have been Loctited in place, which tells me this has probably never been taken apart. So let's break free the back one here. Make sure it goes all the way in there. Using my nice Bondis Allen wrenches. I like Bondis, USA made. And they're high quality. The screw will give way before the Bondis generally does. Look good. Hey, Rich. Oh, I did leave out Rich Risconi. So Rich Sconi, sorry, Rich, about that. I'm very forgetful. I'm old. Rich Sconi from Sconi Paintball, another mover and shaker. Been doing it for years. Sconi makes the feed neck. It's basically the Roni feed neck, the one that hangs over that they're not making anymore. So he decided to remake them, and he sells them on his website, and they are great feed necks. If you have a right feed or a left feed or any side feed type of marker, that you get a nice metal one that then kind of leans your hopper a little further over. And then he has a lot of other cool things on there. Very good prices. So sorry, Rich. Rich, actually, I was working on your stuff. Let me grab that real quick. So, Rich is a busy dude. I'm working on this right here. This is a cap reflex cocker that's Rich's. That I'm just going through and getting up and running for him. And then a few other ones. And Rich, I gotta call you sometime today or tomorrow. I don't know, and go over a parts list with you. And we'll talk some other things. But anyway, yeah, the Super Cocker is really clean. Here, let me hold it up there so people can see. Let me wipe it off again. And it is super duper clean. It's got the old pneumatics. I kind of already went through this for some folks. So it's got the old, really non-rebuildable clipper ram. You can do the ram shaft seal, but you can't do the piston seal unless you somehow break this thing open. It's got the old three-way, which has a little C-clip down in there. And then a Palmer's full-size LPR, which I think is their best LPR. The Micro Rocks, I'm not too. I'm like, Matt, they're okay. They're hit and miss for me. Yeah. But yeah, you can see even the feed neck doesn't have any damage on it. Just dusty and dirty. But turned out really nice. Let's see. He does make that's what Charles says. He makes an awesome, wicked feed net. Yes, he does. If you have an older free flow, but from the 2020s, you have a free flow from Rich, actually. He manufactured a lot of that stuff for free flow. Had a little deal with him. And he still has some of those feed necks on his website. He even has them in raw if you're looking for that. Got my candy out. Got a couple of hits of candy. Let's put this off to the side. Let's focus on the frame. The frame is in pretty phenomenal shape. It's interesting. So this is, and I don't know if it's a Seize Your Eyes. I can't say it is. I don't know how that all worked back then. But it went through a shop that he worked in. It's a Super Cocker. And let's look at the top of the plate is polished, but it has a lot of ridges in it. It has laser cutting marks on it. But as long as they're all polished and they're all the same height, it doesn't really matter. So let's see if I can push this pin out. My punch. Is it going to slide out? Oh yeah, it is going to slide out. So I'm going to try to push everything in one push. Push the pin out. The pin was a little rusty. I'm going to pull the spring out. The spring, the Sears spring, seems to be fairly standard, and it is cut on one end. You see that? Other end it's not. The end that's not cut was against the bottom of the sear, and the other end was in the frame. So it was assembled correctly. Let's take, okay, so it's a standard War Games. Let's clean off some of the oil goobers on it. See if there's any polish marks on it. See if they did any type of polish work to this. Now remember, this is 99, so this isn't anything new that's coming out of Caesar. This is something that came out of a shop that Caesar worked at. So yeah, they did do, if I can get into the focus realm, they did do polish at the end. It's smooth. And they did a little polishing on the back end. So they did some work outside of stock. So the claims of saying that you get this great trigger draw because they do all this work, they did. So they do use, this is a 2K spec, not a pre-99 spec, or I don't know really 2K, but it's post-99 spec trigger plate, which I'm happy to see. And it's really interesting. It definitely does not look like a War Games one. It's actually interesting. There are some little features. They do some little things to it. So, for instance, and I think it is a War Games one. Let's see how it's rounded on the top? Mark Davis and I talked about this, and he does this. He rounds this little section there, so it doesn't want to bind. Need my Q-tip. And my Q-tip over here. What else is? No roller, Charles. Am I going to roller? I don't know what I'm going to do yet. So, hey, let's start chatting about what I should do with this, because most likely that clippered ram is poo-poo, right? Now, I'm going to clean off some of this stuff, so get some of the dirt off of it. So if there's anything special they did to this, like I said, is the bottom looks normal. The ramp looks normal. It's a slotted hole, but it felt like there was something in this slotted hole. Like, let me see, where's my pick? Did they put some JB Weld or something in here? Is there something hard in here? I don't know if they put JB Weld in there or if that's just hard dirt. Hard for me to see. I don't know, it's just a kind of poor machining. So let's do this. Let's figure out what the thickness of this is. So it's 152. So it's not the thickest. Let's see, I have a ShockTech one offline here. ShockTech is 174, so it's probably standard War Games, I think, on this. Oh, Charles, I should put one of those new roller sears that I got off Fleabay. Let me go grab one of those. Hold on. I'll be right back. All right. Coming back. Let's see. Yeah, I just got these off Fleabay. They kind of look like the ones that were the War Games one, but these are new designs in DZ, new old stock that I found, and they're little rollers. And yeah, I think I will put one of these on this. Be nice. Feel really nice on there, so I'll throw that in the pile of stuff. I may put a different plate in here. Let me see. I may try a different plate. Gotta get this one spring out. Okay, so here is the spring. You know, I think it felt just tight because that spring's a little stiffer, but it may be just dirty on the inside. So it could have been just a little dirty on the inside. Get my Q-tip again. My Q-tip whip. Where'd I put it? Oh, here it is. So if I can go in here and kind of clean out some of the gunk in here. And let's look at these glide screws. See if they've done anything to the glide screws. Clean off some. I think it just had some paintball gunk in here. So, I mean, it was still a little stiff. It's a stiffer spring. But I think with some fresh lube, it will make it feel a little bit better. But it still is a little stiffer, I think. Ugh, that was pretty goobered up. Let's see. Make sure I'm getting all the comments here. Yeah. So, kind of, you know, what should I do with this thing? I'm going to see if I can zoom in a little bit. Uh-oh. Just a little bit zoomed in there. See how that looks. Cleaning up here. Ooh, dusty. I picked up that. Yeah, Paul, I think, you know, you gotta remember that I get a delay in all these comments. So, you know, from when you guys see stuff to when I've actually said it, for me it was a while ago I talked about it in this. Yeah, it'll be interesting. I tend to like a little larger roller ball on the end, and it kind of helps with any imperfections on the ramp of the sear. At least that's what I found out. So, but that's just me. But let's take these glide screws out. Ooh, and they are Loctited in. Ooh, I better use a real Allen for this. Just, you know, feels like it's just getting a little snug. So I mean, it's definitely feeling like this was assembled at the factory and has not been messed with, which is good. Because that means that we're going to kind of go back in time, you know, and look at what they were doing at Super Cocker and to when they were building these things. If I can get this guy all the way out. But it is Loctited in there. And I want to say probably, it's white now, but it was probably blue then. I may not be able to get the back one out, but let's clean this guy off. And let's bring it up into the... So they actually did... You guys can see that. I don't know how that's turning out, but it is flat tipped on it. And it's just flat tipped. It's not necessarily polished. I need my other glasses. I don't have them here. So... let me see what it feels like on a piece of chrome. Yeah, it could be polished a little bit. I'm surprised they didn't run a little bit of polish on that. But I mean, I remember these things weren't cheap back in the day. Anyone remember the price of what the Super Cockers went for back in the good old days? Ooh, am I worried that this may be stripped out? Oh, I got the wrong size Allen in there. Oh, wrong size Allen. Okay, next size down. Oop, where'd that Allen go? Here it is, right here. This one I may need to apply a little heat to. Oh no! Oh no, it's gonna go. Okay, this is gonna go. Good. I'll put this guy back in there. I'm always worried about, especially with stainless steel screws, these glide screws, that if they were put in with some pretty hefty glues or Loctites, then you'll egg out that. You'll egg out that part. So let's look at the bottom of this thing. See if I can I zoom this in? Is it gonna focus? Bring it down there. Well, yeah, it's about the same. All right. I should have used a light backdrop instead of this really white one. Let's see. How many people do I have on here? 5 current viewers. All right. So, so the frame, it just looks like a benchmark. Nothing fancy. It's, I don't know, it seems to be well done. It's actually really, wow, that's actually kind of weird. So like on the back strap here, it was really polished. Like they removed a whole bunch of material, like they sanded it afterwards. Really interesting. Really, they did a lot of post polishing on this to almost, it almost looks a little wavy a little bit. I don't know if I can get that in the camera. I don't know if I can or not, but interesting. Very interesting. All right, so let's get into this guy. Let's take off. So the only thing I think is not original is it has an O-ring for a bumper, and this is it is an adjustable, feels maybe titanium. Feels like titanium, locking rod. I think that's stock. I think the bumper's not stock. So let's see. Yeah, that is Loctited into here. So I'm not gonna, it's Loctited onto there, so I'll have to get my little bit of heat on that to get my little torch out here and torch it. But let's see if I can take off this 3-way. Going to go brass. I don't know, Charles. Well, so here's the ideas. I need another different size. I could go brass. I mean, that would look kind of cool. Oh, there we go. Is that going to come off? This may be not happy. Come on. Oh, there we go. Ooh, good. And I could say, never use the round ball end on these guys to try to break something free. Put all the little parts in here. Am I going to go... Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do on that, Charles. I don't know if I'm going to go brass or not. That will be interesting. But I am going to start taking off some parts here. You know, kind of options are this. I could replace the RAM. This LPR is 90 or 80% good in the sense of for pitting. The 3-way, there's no pitting on the 3-way either. And, you know, so I could technically go through that freeway. The RAM, my guess on the RAM is that the RAM is going to be bad. And if it isn't bad yet, it will be bad really soon. Because it's just the age of stuff. Those hoses are going in the garbage can. The Aegis stuff just finally gives up the ghost. So I think that the RAM will probably go. But do I leave the LPR, see if I can rebuild? Ooh, that's actually Loctite in there. I meant to put a little heat on that. Leave this, replace it with a Chrome RAM, get everything up and running. Okay. It's the Blazer 25U. I know I would troll you, but I will keep it professional. I think Blazer is a guy that I play Call of Duty with. He's actually a really good player, a phenomenal player. From Texas. Texas guy, works in the oil fields. Sorry, Blazer. So what pneumatics do I leave? Do I try to rebuild these guys and replace the RAM with the Chrome RAM? Yeah, it is my buddy Blazer. Play a lot of Call of Duty, all that stuff. But so do I do that? I don't know. Or do I put? So here's the other option. Do I fully shock tech it out? I put shock tech now. Do I do black or do the shock tech silver, which would kind of look kind of cool, because this is silver right back here, and that would match shock tech silver, and it is shock tech, and I'm pretty sure there's probably shock tech parts in here. I'm almost 100% positive on that. So, you know, what do I do on that? Black, silver, complete shock tech the thing out. If this reg's working and not creeping, run it, or run something like a CP or something like that. I don't know. Daniel says silver. I like that idea, Daniel. I think you got an idea. So Charles knows what I'm doing right now. Charles knows I'm going to be let's see if I can disassemble this and not destroy things. I don't have my washer, Charles, so it is what it is. But these are pretty nice nuts, so let's see if I can get everything there. Put that there. Get my wrench. Snug that down there. Bring this down onto that guy. Let's see, where's my strap wrench? My strap wrench. I usually like to do this in a vise. Let's see if I could just take this thing apart. See if I can get it apart right now. Nope, that didn't go, so. Let's see if we can back that off. Back that off. Put that there. Let's see, what else? Literally just did this. Yeah, I know. We were talking about this, Charles, weren't we? I need to get my little wrench in here. Little wrench there. This guy there. I get everything there. And let's see if I can back this off. So, people that don't know what we're doing is this older Palmer LPRs, you had to do like this jam nut type setup to get all this stuff, to get this front thing off. I don't know if I'm going to have enough torque to do this. I probably need to put it in my clamping vise. Yeah, I just don't have enough. I could probably try to grab that barb. I don't want to break that barb off, but let's see if I can grab it anyway. Let's see if I can get this thing apart. Yeah, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to do this in my vise. So that goes off to the side. It's done in the vise where I have more purchase on it. I don't want to break that. So let me go grab my torch real quick. I'll be right back So give me a few seconds. A little heat on some things real quick. Don't want to put too much heat on stuff. Let's see, what did I miss here? Like I said, right, it's in America. Yeah, Paul, I'm familiar with the Mortal Air having that stuff. You know, the funny thing is, I did if you guys haven't seen the reg test stuff that I did, and you know, is it completely scientific? No. Does it have science in it? Yes. I found out I have a lot of Air America regs, and I just acquired them. You know, and I find out that they creep about 5 psi. No matter what. I've replaced seals, I've put new seats in, new square pins in, everything like that. See if I can just break this guy free here. Oh yeah, I'm just gonna go. And I think it's inherently they did that on purpose. This is my theory behind it. All this is theory. Or I'm just horrible at rebuilding them, and I'm just a horrible person altogether. But I think they're, in essence, kind of a cheater reg. In essence, that where if you do a clearing shot over the chrono, and then your next subsequent shot right afterwards is going to be at a little lower PSI, then you're going to have first shot hot shots, right? So if you just know to clear the shot before, you know, I don't know. It's hit and miss for me on those regs. I had one customer reg in that he wanted me to rebuild, and I wouldn't do it because it functioned flawlessly. And I said, there's no need to rebuild it. Just run, you know, a couple drops of oil in it and let it run. He insisted we rebuilt it, and it creaked. Go figure. Right? So, yeah, I don't know. Okay, I got to get this up on something so I don't burn things. Let's get my silicon tech mat here. Oh, that's a part that can go in there. I don't want to burn stuff. Just want to throw a little heat to things. You know, I don't know if it affected their tank regs. You know, I don't buy into a lot of this tank reg hype. A, because I've done the testing to see how important the tank reg is in the whole system. It's not that it's not important, okay? It is important, but some of the important aspect is they look at, is that tank reg spiking? And most regs, inline regs, absorb that spike. Unless it's some of the newer guns are really low pressure, but even those absorb that spike. So, you know, I don't know. I say, this is my theory on a lot of that stuff, on tank regs. And there's kind of like the tank reg war. There's people against Ninja. There's the Powerhouse people. The people are against Powerhouse. There's some Mortal Air people. There's the people that like HK or whatever, you know. Go buy what you feel comfortable buying. I feel comfortable if I have a option of a quality product that's built in the U.S. to buy that. And so there's two that are built in the U.S. and that's, I'm pretty sure Powerhouse is still built in the U.S. I know Ninja is. And then any of those regs, if you're not maintaining them, you're kind of screwing yourself. So, you know, a lot of people, they just don't maintain them. Oops. And then they have a Ninja rag that goes bad, and they're upset that, oh, it's junk, or Powerhouse is junk. You know, ooh, this little one. That they're like, oh, it's just junk because it didn't work. Or it failed on me after 10 years of use. Ninja failed on me in a game, and I'm never buying that product again. Or Powerhouse, or whoever, whatever company you want to put that name on. I don't know. It's just, you know, it is what it is. The Senator Fire Paintball does not condone cheating. Hey, thanks, Charles, for the disclaimer. Charles is perfect. Oh, I love it. So, I don't know. I think, you know, buy your conscience. How about that? You know, you can go look at that testing. Go look up in my YouTube channel. Look for the rag testing. There's a couple or 2 or 3 videos on the tank rag ones. I think there's a final wrap-up on that. And I don't say which one's better. You can go look at the numbers and you can decide if it's really that big of a difference. But if I recall, even the Ninja or the Empire's basic rag, or free rag, performed decently. So, but, you know, it's kind of like, oh man, this one are tight. It's kind of like, you know, can you find parts for it? So yeah, I spent money on this thing, but can I find any parts for it to repair it afterwards? And, you know, that's the, oops. That's what I kind of look at, is like, man, it's this thing, you know, I've spent a whole ton of money, and I know in so many years I have to replace the tank. So, you know, why would I, I'm going to cool this off. Ooh, it's hot. So why not buy something that's quality? So I don't know. That's, or not quality. That's something you can fix. yeah, right, Rich. There's some groups that hate Palmers. Yeah, I know. It's paintball's such a fickle place. You know, everyone's like, oh, they suck. If you have one bad experience with a paintball company, and they suck. They're horrible. I think, you know, a bad experience with a paintball company it has to come several layers. It has to be a several layer bad experience. So I think the first bad experience is you get the product and it fails shortly after use. And that's the first layer of a bad experience. That's step one of going towards a bad experience. Okay, because companies make a lot of products, make a lot of pieces, and sometimes quality control and stuff like that, you know, gets out of hand. So they may have had a bad one in the batch, and the QC didn't pick that up. For instance, Dye with their 3-ways. They came out with a really expensive 3-way. Their QC sucked, and they have since, I think, fixed that. I don't know. I have not bought the new Dye. I know they come out with the new Dye 3-way. It has the Dye symbol on the side. I don't know how I would know this, Charles, would I? But that hints, I think, they have fixed some of the problems, which is good. And hopefully they're making right with the customers that had bad things. That's an important thing. So first layer is you have a product that fails that everyone said was great, right? And now you're upset. And then you need to test the warranty on that product. And so if you didn't read the close fine print on their page where you bought it from of what their return policies are or what their warranties are, if you don't have it installed by a certified technician, then you may be learning something else there. So the second thing is do they provide good warranty service? Do they alleviate your problem? So yes, it sucks. I bought this part. I went to the field. It failed on me. And then I called them, and either yes, they did, or no, they didn't provide good service, where they said, here's a shipping label, and then here's a shipping label, and then let me return the product for you. So my wife was just calling me. I'm going to message her real quick. And if they do that, and they send you a product that works, then great. Hold on. She's calling the house phone if you can hear it. Doing live video. I'll call you later. Oops, later. All right. She'll call me again. All right. So if they take care of you and you get a product that works, then really they just had an error in their product and they have a good product and stuff like that. But if they don't, if they jerk you around, or the store you go back to doesn't want to help you, then yeah, that's a bad experience and you shouldn't buy that product. And I would advise that you tell other people not to buy that product, that you had a bad experience. Respectfully advise other people that. Man, does this thing... Wow. That still works. Huh. Very interesting. So, there's... I don't know, it's just all these layers to that type of stuff, right? Like, what is the best course of action? And I don't know. It's... but I think blasting people right out of the gate is not the best course of action. I think doing some little homework to see if you can get... Oh, man. Is that gonna... I don't want to do that that way. Let's see if I can do it this way. So anyway... Yep, I agree with you, and I got your name. Yeah, Rain Nick, which I know I'm going to mess it up all the time. Yeah. So that's what it really kind of comes down to. So if I take this off and just look at the seal here. That had not been broken since factory times. Okay, that steel is still supple. Huh. Let me go and dig out some of the... Ooh, it still has Dow 55 on the inside that's all pasty. Very interesting. Well, let's put a little more Dow in there, right? If it worked then, it will work now. There we go. So, yeah, I think it really kind of comes down to, are they going to take care of you and make, whatever you purchased worth your while, or are they just going to ignore you? And if they ignore you or they give you the runaround, then it is time to move the F along, in my eyes. It's time to say, you know what, I am never going to buy product from that company again. But I just squirted stuff all over me. Getting some of that lube out of there. But if they provide you a product that keeps failing and then you try to return it, and outside of not reading whatever their return policy is, then and they give you, I don't know. I think it's about taking care of your customers, because the whole goal is you want them to come back and do more business with you and be happy, and then say good things about you, hopefully. And sometimes there are some of those customers that you can never satisfy, and I know that. I've dealt with them. That no matter what you do, they are a big, giant, royal pain in your butt. And then you really cringe every time they make a purchase from you. You're thankful that they do, number one, but then you cringe that they are making one. You just move on. All right, so back to this. Let's see what else going on. Oh, I got 100% right. Raynick. Perfect. Raynick, I'm going to say something funny. I always thought that you were Rennick Miller. the owner of Shock Tech, or the once-time owner of Shock Tech, Bad Boys Toys. That's who I thought you were. I never really, I just kind of, I looked at a glance and I thought it was Rennick. And so I assumed that you're Rennick Miller. So you can take that glory for all what you want. So we're going to go, here's this Super Cocker. Got this off Flea Bay. It is pristine. And I'm deciding what I'm going to do with it. Okay, so let's look. I haven't adjusted the IVG. You see the IVG in this is, man, it's in quite a bit. So let's count how many turns it's in. Just curious. Okay, so, 1, 2, 3, 4 turns, 5 turns, 6 turns. Basically 6 turns from flush. So, very interesting. It's got a yellow spring of some sort. Who knows? Let's put that over here in the parts bin. And then let's take out the hammer. 1/8 inch screwdriver. Let's see, hold on. Is it I'm going to send it in for a boom trim. Oh, you know, you are too funny, Mr. Beardedworks. I am going to abstain from commenting on that because I'm a chicken. No, I'm not a chicken. I think if someone wants to go get boom treatment, go and get it done. And if it works for you, then great. If it doesn't work for you, then call so you get your money back. And then go through that whole process we just talked about. So now here's the interesting thing. I don't know if this is one of these titanium hammers or not. I always forget what they look like. Let me clean this thing off. Let me screw out the lug. It's got a lug set screw. It's got a Shock Tech rounded lug. It's a flat face. I'm assuming it is a Shock Tech hammer. Let's try to get this in the view. It is a rounded lug. It's tapered on the back and the front. There's the, oops, get that O-ring back out there so you can see. You see the depth in there. Let me just take this guy off. It's fairly deep. I don't know. Man, this may be titanium, which I do not like. And the thing looks pristine, which to me tells me possibly titanium, which the titaniums, I don't really like them because I think they're hard on the bores, but I'll check on that. All right, so for those you haven't seen, let me zoom in here. There's the, so you have, on a standard cocker, you have the valve retaining nut, which takes a special tool. Then you have kind of the valve port sealing nut, I guess you call it. So there's probably another name for it. And then some companies drilled this second hole in the back, which locked the valve retaining nut in place, because if that valve retaining nut came loose and your hammer beat against it, it would eat all the threads out and make a very, very bad day, and you'd be very upset that your autococker is leaking and you can't seal it anymore because it's no longer happy. It's no bueno. No bueno. Ooh. So if you have one of those, you want to loosen it, and I recommend taking it almost all the way out because you want to take any pressure off those springs. And let's see, it's just a little short guy, and this one's flat on the top. It's just enough to keep it from unwinding itself out. So let's go like this. I like taking this guy out next. No Loctite on this nut. And looking down there, it looks like something brass on the side. So let's Where'd my, oh, here it is. My handy dandy autococker. Now I wish I had one of those Bell Cells ones. I always like those. They had the fancy anodizer on it. And it feels like it still has a little bit of Loctite on this, which is good. So they double down. Take out the jam nut. Looks like it's never been out, but it doesn't look like it's had any Loctite on it. It's in good shape. You know what they may have did? They may have put, let me look in here. they did, I think. So what they did here is this little set screw, I think, pushed up against a piece of probably some tubing that they cut and put down in there, and then that wedged up against the thing. I'm going to try to get everything all out as one. Let's see if I can. Oh, I don't want to do that on there. Let's do this on that. Is it going to go? Is it budging? Yes, start moving. Okay, so it's not moving yet. Sometimes you need to get a little pick in there and just give a little persuasion. Man, if it's not going to go, I'm going to push from the front. So we're going to take it off the front. Where is my wrench? Right here? I think that's the one. No, it's not the one. This is the one. This is the way. Ooh, that's on there tight. There we go. Break that free. Hold on to the front block so it doesn't spin. Banjo bolt is chrome plated. Put it off to the side, and then I'm going to try to get something long down in here. Get a little bit of push on that. I think it's a little bit longer. Let me go and grab something a little bit. Ooh, no, it's not long enough. Do I have anything here that's a little bit longer? Oh, right here. Let's be smarter than the. Hopefully, I'm there. Yeah, come on. You know, let me be right back. I'm going to have another pump arm I can use for that. I'll be right back. Let's see. Let's look at the comments real quick. QS for the superpower I have ever seen sees use any titanium lure. 2 parts. If it's titanium, that would use more. Okay, good to know, man. That's good to know. Thanks. I appreciate that. All right, I'm coming back. I made myself a peach cobbler today. It smells really good. I'm actually in the kitchen. I set up in the kitchen. There's a little more light in here today. Okay. Let's see, super. Yeah. All right. So let's see. I'm going to use some really funky tools here. I'm going to use my hammer. This is really bad, guys. I just want to, I'm not hitting hard. I just want to break it free. There it goes. Now it's starting to go. Man, that is really, there it flies. Yep, and there it does. It does have, so remember I said, is there a little piece of plastic in there that's wedged up against there? Yes. And it looks like, man, what is that? Something. I'll save it. And so the O-ring. So this looks, man, this is an old ShockTech valve. So assuming that's ShockTech definitely, which basically, oh, I think it may be cooked. If I can unscrew that and replace that seal, let me take off this nasty O-ring. I don't think it's a Palmer's valve. I agree with you, Bearded, and I don't know if ShockTech had Palmer's make valves for them at one time, and then they modified the stem, but it's the stem, I think, is what makes it different, I think. And I have to look at Man, I'll have to look at what page is that. It's Autococker photos. Hold on, while we're there, let me look here real quick. Oops, everything got lit up there. Last phone. Oh, I think. Yeah, I don't know. Let's see. Last phone wasn't so bad. I had last year. Got it shuttered. Okay, so let me go see. P-based autococker. A-U-T-O-C-O-C-K. Cockers photos. Let's see if that comes. P-based autococker photo. And I think, yeah, this is Kenneth McDowell. Galleries, paintball markers, cockers. Okay, so let's go all galleries. And let's look at, I'm just looking real quick under Kenneth McDowell's page. He has threaded, tech stuff, information, shop, markers of service, interesting things I did, autococker parts identification guide, that's what I'm looking for. And, oh, is that it? Okay, we're going to look for valves. Complete lower tubes, valves. I just pulled apart a gun that had one of the MacDev red valves in it. First time I ever really held one in my hand. I'll see if he has a photo of this thing here. So there's a Palmer's one. Palmer's LT. Okay, so he doesn't have a photo of it anywhere. Or maybe he has this Shock Tech. Let's see. No, he only has. And so I'm pretty sure it's a Shock Tech, but I could be wrong. Let's see. What do people say? Shock Tech was. Yeah, I think you're right about the valve. Super cocker ain't right. Though you're right that the valve in it is a super cocker ain't a rat valve. Okay, though you're right that the valve in it, super cocker ain't a rat valve. Okay, I don't get what you're saying. Maybe we typed up thing a little better there. I'm gonna try to get a little closer on it. So it's got a flat bottom. You know, it's not a super open face. Probably a little higher pressure. You know, it looks like the Palmer front end, or the, you know, that's indicative of them, or the not the Schrader. What's the, you know, the old pellet guns, that style. And then it's got this little seal here, which to me is indicative of a not necessarily a wrap valve, but it's first gen valves from Bad Boy Toys. But I don't know. So this is the thing. This is all 99 spec. And so do I keep it 99 spec? So what do I do on this? Do I fully upgrade it to current Shock Tech lowers? Okay, so it's the rat valve, the fat hammer, stuff like that. I'd have to put I don't know if I have to put an LPC chamber on it. Hold on, I'm reading some comments. It does indeed look much like a Palmer stuff. Yeah, I think it is, and I'll have to. I'm actually friends with Danny. I'll have to ask him. I'll send him a photo. I think it is. I think I've already kind of gone down this route. I'm sure I've asked this, you know, a couple hundred times, and then I've forgotten because I'm getting old. But yeah, I think it is. I don't know. I'm trying to clean off some of the parts here. So, you know, what do I do? Do I put? I mean, there's nothing wrong with the stuff I pulled on it, right? At all. And there are some upgrades I can do, or, you know, pseudo upgrades. But do I put Shock Tech stuff all over it? Or, you know, Shock Tech lower, you know, it's got the Shock Tech front bolt. And there's nothing wrong with this bolt. I'm kind of curious. I don't know if that's a 99 spec or a 2K spec, but I can check real quick. Okay. forces. It should be just a little bit. Yeah, it's a 99 spec, I think. That's a 2K. Yeah, well, this is how I can check too. I could look at this way. I could look at this way. Yeah, 99 spec. That's what I thought. So it's got a 99 spec bolt. So I'm not going to change the bolt. There's nothing wrong with that bolt. It will run great. So the bolt I'm not going to change. I'll probably clean it up a little bit, but it really doesn't need anything. It's in really good shape. It is 99 spec body, 99, you know, milled 99. It's actually, I think it's bored out just a little bit inside. So they may have did something in that to open that chamber a little bit. So I put a ShockTech lower tube in it, new lower tube, and set it that way. And then ShockTech silver pneumatics on the front to match the color of this back or this bolt. I am going to tap this guy and put a plunger in there because I think it's just cleaner. And then I think that is something I'm going to do. I have the means to do that. Where's the push pin? The push pin's around here somewhere. And I was thinking about getting, oh, here it is. I was thinking about getting this push pin and just removing the ball, actually having with the ball bearings removed, but then just machining a notch in this so when it goes in, it hits that ball bearing. So it looks old school, kind of, right? Would that be kind of cool? I think it would be. But, you know, how do I do that? And then, you know, I have a gloss black CP rag I could throw on this. Or I could use the Air America. Nothing wrong with that. If it's functioning, right? You know, and then I got to find a barrel that I can you know, one side of me, I just want to machine in just a little bit and put really short inserts in here. Just a little 1-inch inserts. Just enough to get the ball to fit so it doesn't fall through. But that's something I can do. I don't know. Let's see. Let's see what people are saying. Look over here. Okay. I'm looking through all the stuff. Is the seal blue? I don't know. Rich, is the seal blue? Is that in the wrap valve? No, seal is not blue. Okay. Bro code rules. Number 78. Never is always better. I don't. Oh. Yeah. Okay. Keep the bolt. Replace the lower tube. ShockTech silver front end. Yeah. Paul, I like where you're going on that. It's not a mini body, so the lower isn't gas starved. Don't know about. I agree with you. It's not gas starved. I do have. The thing is, I do have a ShockTech LPC chamber. I don't need it, and they are kind of a bitch when you put them on to get everything lined up, but and all the little ports in the right way. But let's see, maybe you're wanting to go with a higher flow water bolt. Nah, I don't really care. You know, the funny thing is, I chase the low pressure stuff, and it is cool. It does have its place. But I kind of build a gun now, and whatever it tunes at, and as long as it shoots good, I'm happy. Let's see, I'm going through here. Higher flow valve, yeah, no, let's see. Honestly, I've just cleaned it a bit and replaced the seals and springs. And yeah, you know, the thing is, I can easily get it back up and running, and the RAM is working. And that's why I didn't gas off this pump arm, because it is sealing. So I'm going to run a little bit of oil in here and lube that up. It is a little, not sticky, but it's got drag. So I don't know. We'll see. Let's see. So I may just put it back to stock, rebuild the factory three-way. The three-ways are, where are the three-way? What did I do with it? It's around here. Oh, it's right here. These are these guys right here, right? And I have about 10 of these. And they're very much Palmer-ish three-way, and I think they're really kind of a clipper three-way. Made kind of for paintball, and it has all the little cups in there. and they're always, to me, they're rough. And I think that's why they have the stiff springs in the frame, is to, you know, help you, because when you pull it, you're not going to feel it, but if it hangs up on the return, you're going to have issues. But maybe I'll go through this. Maybe I'll make my own little core for this that's nice and smooth. That will work. I don't know. I'll have to think about that one. But anyway, so let's see. I'm reading the comments here. It said, the pin still has the 4 balls working. Use the old broke. Yeah, no, I'm going to use an old broke. And I know where to get these 4 ball pins things anyway. I know where to buy those. Or the little pins for that. Let's see. Sell it to some guy that likes black markers. I don't think anyone likes black markers. You know, I heard that most guys that like black markers, you know, they like other things, like sword fighting in the bathroom, stuff like that. You know, that's what I heard. I have no knowledge, first-hand knowledge of this, but maybe you do. I don't know. Just kidding. So there's Daniel Young. He's doing a little high. Yeah, right. So I don't know. I don't know what. I know. So Bearded Works. He's like me. He likes the black anodized guns, and I think, to me, I think when you have a lot of milling design on something and you do like a multi-camo or splash and all that, and don't get me wrong, I love those anos, but they kind of look like they don't look like poop. They just make the ano go, or the designs go away. And you know what, with this, it's anode machined, then anode, then remachined with highlights. At least I think it's remachined. And then I don't know if, yeah, it's raw, which is pretty impressive. I've always wondered how many of these bodies that they threw up in their mount, and they got these cuts wrong. You know, they're like, oh, fudge sickle, that didn't really come out nice. You know, that'd be funny. It's like, that didn't really turn out nice. But I don't know. But, I mean, they even machine this, just a little accent. I mean, there's some really nice accent lines in this stuff, so they do a good job. This front block has really been lightened up. You know, if you're really worried about making things light. Let's see. The guy who doesn't mind black markers. The black one goes with it. Yeah, no, I agree with you. Black does go with everything. And, you know, I think when you get some of those really fancy anodized stuff, I know I've had some and that I've had done, and then I just don't play with them. It's, you know, it's like getting a brand new pickup, and then you go and you put a lift kit on it and some big tires and wheels and some other fancy stuff. Well, you get upset if someone hops into it with dirty boots on, or you don't want to load anything in the back because you don't want to scratch the bed, right? So you put a camper shell on it, and you just kind of like, why don't you buy an SUV, you dummy? Because you just made it an SUV. And so, you know, one side is, you know, it's a paintball work. It's meant to be played with. That's the way I look at it. But, yeah. What time is it? It's 3:18. We're about an hour and 18 minutes, or about an hour and 15 minutes into this. So, well, it's a little bit long, and I have some peach cobbler that is going to be coming this way. So, anyway, guys, I'm doing all the rest of my live streams from YouTube, not from Facebook. And then additionally, let's put this off to the side. These ShockTech mats available at Docfire Paintball, good price, neat, totally cool mats. If you don't know how to install a gunfighter frame, I'll give you all the instructions right here. If I had any more gunfighters in stock, I'd say buy that with the mat. Actually, if you bought a gunfighter, I would give you a mat for 50% off. But I don't have a gunfighter to do that, and because I'm out of them again. I keep selling out. I buy them and sell them, buy and sell them. But anyway, Thanks, everyone. Have a great rest of your day, and I will see you on the next live stream. Docfire out.